welcome to FountainFX on Friday the 5th of September 2014. Sorry for the inconsistency in blogging recently. Been away on a tour of South Africa and then got back only to get a virus. So I'm just on a recovery from that. So back on the blogging, so hopefully we can catch up with what's happening with the market. And what's actually been happening this week is very much incredible situation. So if we look at the Euro US dollar, which we are on the weekly chart, the reason we're having to go to the weekly chart is because the Euro US dollar is just falling off a cliff at the moment, if you can see here, and we're having to do that to go back to find other previous price performances and where price has been before. However, the reason for this fall, if we go to the news, we will be able to show you what came out yesterday. And yesterday, the key news that really did change everything is here highlighted, which was the European minimum bid rate. It was predicted to not change. It was predicted to be 0.15 and remain that, and they changed it to 0.05, which is showing there's a huge amount of uncertainty and weakness in the European economy, and hence the market just started selling euros and buying dollars, and that's the reason for that collapse. If you look at the US economy, it's looking rather stable. We're looking at a reduced trade deficit that's coming down. Unemployment claims are pretty much stable, and so it's all very positive for the US economy, but not very good for the European economy. So we're expecting to see some good figures come out for the non-farm payrolls today. I mean, if you look here, this is the ADP non-farm employment exchange, and that's saying not a huge change in terms of that. Predicted to be 218k of new jobs, and they said there was 204,000. This doesn't give you any indication about what's going to come out today for the official non-farm payroll, but it gives you some indication. So we're looking at positive news for the US, negative news for the euro, hence the reason why the market has reacted as much as it has done. So if we flick back and take a closer look. So when we flick over to the Euro US dollar 4-hour chart, we can see a couple of things that stand out. Last week, Monday, the open of the week, we had a gap down, and price really struggled over the week, continued to push down, but didn't really come back up and close. Normally the expectation is price will then look to close that gap and then continue in the downtrend or the trend that it's moving in. So obviously if it's an uptrend, it would pull back, close it, and then carry on up. In this case, it didn't even have the strength to get back up and close the origin of the gap, which is up here on the red line, the trend line that I've plotted there. It did get up to the lower level, the area of support down here. If we highlight that, and we can see that price did manage to get up there and touch it just about before it fell. That was giving us clear signals of weakness in the euro, strength in the US dollar. The market was definitely selling euros and buying US dollars, and price continued to fall throughout the week. And then this week it's been pretty much consolidated sideways, waiting for major news. Well, yesterday's major news obviously took the market by storm, because it did fall off a cliff. We are looking at the fall was from around about the 131.80 all the way down to the 129.35. So we are talking almost 200 points. I'm trying to think, 29? No, more than that. Yes, sorry. We're looking at more than that. We're looking at 250 points. So the market has fallen 250 points in that one afternoon. It just literally collapsed. That is a huge move in one direction. Now, the key thing is that I don't think there's any likelihood that the price can actually recover all the way back up to the origin of this. But today at 2:30 we've now got the US data coming out, the non-farm payrolls data. So we will see what the reaction is there. The key thing is that what you can do is you can look to see where price is going to move. If you wanted to, you could turn around and say, look, I think this is going to continue to collapse. I don't think there's any real strength in the euro at the moment. This is a serious reaction. What you would like to see is you would like to see a pullback even to halfway into this area to turn, so that you can get a better selling price as you want to continue with the downtrend. You don't really want to be selling down here. That is, unless price just literally continues to fall off a cliff. But you know, you want to be able, if you can, now you can see that there's this movement here. If there's a way in which you can get a sell price back up here, if price does pull all the way back up, then great, take the sell and move and allow it to continue down. But at this point, it doesn't look like there's much recovery for the euro at the moment. It depends on the data that's going to come out for the US market. But what we can also do is we can look at comparisons now, correlations between other currencies. If we look at the Euro US dollar, it's done this. It's literally fallen. The obvious the obvious trade is to sell the euro by the US dollar. If we flick over to the Euro Aussie, we're getting a similar look to the Euro Aussie. If we look here, price has fallen down, hasn't moved as far because the Aussie isn't as strong as the US dollar at the moment, but it has fallen a significant amount. We are talking 100 and actually 100 is 39.50. We're talking 230 points there, so almost as far. So that's another significant move there. So if you look at that, the Euro US dollar and the Euro Aussie are correlating, so there are two trades that you could follow. And then if we look at the Euro Pound, we'll see that there's actually there's a certain amount of imbalance between there. With the news and that, the price did collapse, but it only collapsed down into a previous area of support, and that's where it stopped and was halted, pulled back up. So we may see some reaction today in terms of the euro selling off against the pound. However, it might be a bit difficult to. I would look for a break of this particular area of support, and then take it and then sell it short from there. What else can we have a look at? We can look at the euro yen. So with the euro yen, similar thing, similar to the pound, but it has actually pushed lower. So it's showing that there's more yen strength here against the euro. The pound doesn't seem to be so strong against the euro at the moment. So the stronger currencies are the Aussie dollar and the US dollar against the euro. So those are the currencies that you want to be looking at for bigger reactions at the moment, specifically to what's happened yesterday. There may be some follow-up trades today in terms of that, but keep your eye out and see where you can take advantage of the market. Just before we finish, I'm going to go back to the Euro US dollar. Kevin Furry asked a question about how can you actually enter a trade where the price is above where you want to enter or below where you want to enter. So for example, price is falling here, we're looking at it's found a bottom, it's pushing back up, but let's say you're saying, well, if I want to be able to sell below that, because if it breaks below this level, I can see it's showing weakness and it will fall further. So for example, if I say we're going to sell around about here, which is the 1.3095. Sorry about my phone. So the 1.3095, let's say we want to put sell order in here, but price is above, it's up here, it's before we've seen all this fall. So if I wanted to do that, then I would place a sell stop order to be able to trigger my trade. For example, the other thing is that let's say where price has fallen now, if we think, let's do the reverse. If price has fallen now and where it's down at the moment, we think there's going to be a massive reversal and price could come all the way back up to here and close. So what we want to do is we want to enter a buy order, but we want to buy when it breaks above a particular level. Let's say if it breaks above this level here. Let's see. I'll show you. Let's say we're going to say we want it to break above that level where price has previously been. We're going to give it some space for spread and stops and all the rest of it. So that's 129.75. So I now want to do a place new order. I want to do not market execution but pending order, and I want to do a buy stop, and my buy stop is going to be at 1.2975. okay, the 129.75, and I can place that order, and that's placed there on that line. You can see the dotted line there. So I've placed an order, a buy stop, so if price comes up it will trigger that, and it will obviously, if it continues up, then I'm making money. But at the moment, with this massive downwick, it doesn't really show much desire to go the opposite direction, and price is going to be flat this morning because at 2:30 is non-farm payrolls. But that's really it from FountainFX. Hope that's helped you guys. Hope that's answered your question, Kevin, and hopefully from Monday onwards I'll be back full health and no longer in the holiday mode, and I'll be able to share you more about trading opportunities. Thanks very much from FountainFX. Bye bye.